Let's see what y'all talking about. Come on in here. Come on in here. Let the chat room fill up. See what you niggas talking about. Instagram don't let me go live. They won't tell me why. Let's see here. What y'all doing? Django's on. Who up in this motherfucker? I'm about to go smoke. You on the East Coast? What's up, Breeze? I'm like, nigga, what time is it? It's 3 goddamn in the morning on the East Coast. Shit, I'm over here on the West Coast thinking it's late. God damn. Yeah, Craig Facts was live. Uh-huh. Craig Facts was funny as fuck. Craig Facts was hilarious. Like, where you work at? Should you work at a daycare center having to be up this early? Fort Greene, Brooklyn. Shit, what's up, cut the check? It's been cold as fuck here in LA. Tonight's better, but it's been cold. Let me put my hoodie on, hold on. Let's see. Are you writing code? Are you working in a warehouse? Yeah, man, working warehouse jobs. Salute to you, man. I'm gonna do a show on this pretty soon. But I'm telling y'all right now, if you want to make some money and have in an area that has a future and a fuck ton of jobs, nigga, cybersecurity. I read an article saying Microsoft saying it's looking, and they have between Microsoft, Google, all them different places, they got fuck ton of job openings right now, and all of their programs and teaching you how to write that shit, they have in junior colleges across the country. They got the whole little curriculum to teach you how to become cybersecurity in junior colleges all across the country. So, let's see. Now it's cold here in LA. Like LA today was warm. It was actually like in the 70s today. It's the first time we reached the goddamn 70s. I don't know when. Oh, damn, lighter shit. What's up, Eastwood? What the fuck y'all talking about tonight? Yeah, the salary in the IT field spiked. I mean, it's a gold mine right now. Like, if I wasn't already doing what the fuck I do, if I just had a job that I wasn't really tripping on, I would go right back to school and it's only 12 years, it's only like 3 or 4 classes. It's all it takes to get a job starting at $80,000 a year right now. Like in 6 months, you could be qualified for a job that's gonna start you out at $80,000 a year. And then once you get that job, you can continue your education if you so choose to get better paying jobs. Yeah, less than 6 or 12 months, man. It's a gold mine right now. I would do 2 things right now if I wasn't already focused on my goals. If I wasn't sure yet on how to make money, or if I wanted to make better money, I'd either drive a truck or do IT. That's the lick right now, people. And the thing about them IT jobs, they don't give a fuck if you smoke weed. You can work from home. And it's so many jobs in that you can always continue to educate yourself and get more out of it. DC propaganda. Our mayor black is doing a horrible job. Oh, it's all propaganda. It never stopped. It was propaganda with Bill de Blasio. Remember they used to send Bill de Blasio out there with his lesbian wife and his little black kids. That's all this shit propaganda. Politics is theater. It's theater to make it seem as if we have a little bit of control. But that New York mayor is a bootleg. You're right, Breeze. That New York mayor, Eric Adams? That motherfucker's a hoe. Yeah, de Blasio, little big. They had the little light skinned kid with the big ass afro. I remember when de Blasio got elected. I was like, why is this nigga married? Why is this white dude married to Hooks from Police Academy? Y'all remember Sergeant Hooks from Police Academy? The black girl with the really light voice? That was Hooks. That nigga Bill de Blasio's wife looking like Hooks. And then his kid looking like Duncan Penderhughes from Class Act. Not the Duncan from Craig Fast, but the Duncan from Class Act. Like, why is the little boy looking like Duncan Penderhughes from Class Act and his mama looking like Hooks from Police Academy? I knew that was some bullshit. I remember when he got elected, it was some dumb shit where they come out and they did some stupid dance. That was some of the worst shit ever. I hated that dance. I wanted to slap the shit out that whole family. Stupid ass dance. Yeah. I can see what the fuck else y'all talking about. I gotta go back and watch 5150. I ain't seen it yet. Been busy. 5150 is great. I love that fucking show. Especially since old boy left. It's back to being 5150 again. He's in New York, dropped the ball. Yeah, 5150. Man, I love 5150. 5150 is what got me on YouTube. 5150 and old Dr. John Henry Clark videos. I don't know. I'm going back on. I wanted to go to the Improv last night because I got Corey one of my hoodies, the Dr. John Henry Clark hoodie. I want to get him to take a picture in it. Yeah, 5150. I feel like I love watching that show. Man, I got to hit up Freeze too. I ain't talked to Freeze Love in a few months. You know, if I could have it, I wish I can get. Oh, I'll be telling Freeze that. I'll be wishing Freeze to go back to 5150. Man, Freeze is goddamn great on 51. Freeze is great anyway, but Freeze on 5150, man, that's some of the funnest shit ever. Maybe it's me. I'm not gonna address that. Yeah, I'm not gonna address that. Maybe it's me. Yeah, I miss Freeze. Because to me, if you ask me, Freeze is every bit as funny as Corey, but neither of them step on either of them shoes. Like, to me, Corey and Freeze to me are two of my top 10 all-time favorite comedians. I put Corey and Freeze Love up there with Eddie Murphy and Robin Harris and all them. That's how much I love them niggas make me laugh. But I used to love watching Corey and Freeze bounce off each other, man. That you ain't gonna laugh harder than watching Corey and Freeze Love bounce off each other. That's just some of the funnest shit ever. And headed out to the right coast. I'm at the right coast, the west coast. That is the right coast. What the fuck? I'm tripping over shit on my grass. I'm on the right coast. I love to go to the East Coast. I'm telling you right now, though, I ain't going to no goddamn East Coast during the wintertime. Kiss my ass. You know, I ain't going no goddamn East Coast on no goddamn wintertime. Nigga, fuck that. I'll see you niggas in the spring or the summer. Yeah. Nah, see, one thing about you, I love, see, some of y'all don't be liking Darlene. I love Darlene on 5150. Y'all understand how Darlene holds shit down and how she gives Corey things to bounce off of. When Darlene, like I said, I've only like seen Darlene or talked to her at the 5150 show a couple times, and like one other time somewhere else I saw her out. But man, Darlene's sweet. Darlene is a sweet person. She's a good person, and I love that loose talk. Cause when she bring up loose talk, them niggas be like Corey and especially them niggas be going wild on that shit. And Darlene is great. Yeah, overall there's no such thing as brown, so there's no such thing as black and brown unity because brown doesn't exist. They're either native or white, and most of them put down and call themselves white. That's true in the broader sense. But on individual levels, shit can work out individually. You know, it don't just because there's no black and brown coalition on the larger scale, don't mean one-on-one Mexicans and black people can't be cool. Sometimes you got to separate the system from personal interactions. There are always exceptions to the rule. Shit, you know what I do? Y'all know, because y'all know how much I study racism. Y'all know what I do to separate myself from this, and I be having to remind myself that this is all. At the end of the day, shit, we just in the matrix. All this shit's an illusion. All of it. You come out, you deal with what you can deal with. You confront white supremacy, but you gotta remember you still got a life to live. You can't let things consume you all the time. It's like I bring my big fat black happy ass out here at nighttime and just be stargazing. And that stargazing shit remind me that it's more to life than the shit that we see. Yes, we confront it with our issues, but any issues that you have, you can get over it. And we will get over it as a people. One thing about us as a people, our history shows that anytime we've gone down, we ain't down for long. We get right back on our feet. Gotta remember that. Devin Booker. No, I don't have to come to Mississippi to study racism. I can study racism in LA. Racism is a global system. Started here in 1680. Racism has a different form in Mississippi than it does in LA. More direct form. But hell, if you want to study how racism refines itself, come to LA. I'm gonna tell you that. He said you can study racism from the moon. You're right. You want to study some racism in the most deceiving way possible, come to Los Angeles, California. You'll see some racism with a smile on his face that'll treat you real kind. If you want to see some racism here in California and LA, it's some racism that even give you a little bit of money and tell you, hey, smoke some weed with me. Racism in LA smokes weed with you. Tells you, hey, let's hang out, Bill. No one part of this country has racism on lock. It just has different forms. Because everywhere in this country, racist as fuck. Everywhere. But hell, I know Mississippi's racist. My family left Mississippi in the 1860s after the Civil War. My family I got stories about Mississippi on my mom's side and my dad's side. You're right, Kermit. It's no one thing about me. I don't judge whose racism is worse. At the end of the day, no one should be mistreated by color, whether that be blunt and direct in the Mississippi form of racism, or whether it be smiling in the face and stab you in the back, LA form racism. No one should be mistreated because of color. And I ain't about to sit here and argue over who gets fucked over the worst. I don't think none of us should be getting fucked over. As a matter of fact, I'd feel like shit if I weren't experiencing if racism wasn't where I was, but it was everywhere else. If where I lived didn't have any racism, the first thing I'd be doing is trying to spread that to other places black people live. That's the first thing I do. Let me spread this. Oh, LA ain't got no racism like that. Oh, let's see if we can duplicate this and replicate this across the country. And I wouldn't rest until all of us experienced it. What's up, Dr. Sinister? Yeah, for us, because black racism is something that black people, that's some shit that we can fix on our own. All we gotta do is look at it and deal with it. But what? When racism come up, most black people don't want to deal with it. And most black people will forgive a white person for being racist quicker than they forgive a family member for fucking up or getting on drugs or some shit or getting arrested by the police. That's where niggas fuck up. Niggas forgive white folks but want to be punitive and heavy-handed on black people. If we flip that, we can end racism right away. If we be as punitive on white folks as we are with each other, the system this shit will solve itself. This shit will solve itself. Because white supremacy can only exist with a mindset of black inferiority. What did Dr. Frances Cress Welsing say? She said, white people play dumb and black people play dumb right along with them. We in a dance with these motherfuckers. Man, we ain't even got to worry about the privileged class. The privileged class of black people is like 1%, nigga. We ain't even got to worry about them. Or it's 1% that are real privileged, and they have another 10% that's fake privilege. That got proximity to that 1%, and they think they somebody. We ain't got to worry about them either. Change always happens at the grassroots. Change always happens at the bottom. When the bottom changes, the top responds. People don't even listen to privileged niggas like that anymore either. Ain't nobody listening to no. It ain't no more Al Sharpton because it wasn't nobody fucking listen to an Al Sharpton today. Wasn't nobody. This environment wouldn't even accept a Jesse Jackson. Nigga, this is do for yourself time. Nigga, you take somebody who is famous, who got a good word, you take what they have to say, you apply it to your life, and you move the fuck on. Fuck them privileged people. I mean, you see me. But even them. Thank you, Breeza Maker. Discrimination and bigotry are tools of racism. Exactly. Race. Racism is a system. Like you have a plumbing system. And bigotry, if you have a plumbing system, racism is the plumbing system. Discrimination and bigotry are the faucets and the drains to the plumbing system. But it's still all one system. It all works together. Bigotry, because all races aren't bigots. Let me say it again. Hell, the most powerful races will never call you a nigga. They'll treat you nice. They'll even let you fuck their daughter. But when it's time to get on a jury pool, they're gonna vote guilty. When it's time to vote, they're gonna vote for the politician that's gonna be tough on crime. They ain't bigots. They're not even discriminating. But they are looking out for their own self-interest. See, that's what's I don't get into all that whose racism is worse. In LA, what they did to us in the LA, especially in the 80s, they went ahead and shipped in a whole bunch of fucking drugs. You know what they did in LA? See, they didn't do this shit in other parts of the country. When I look around, I see other parts of the country going through this shit now. But back in the 80s, in the 70s, especially the 80s, they took all the jobs out. And in LA, they flooded LA with a bunch of Mexicans. They flooded LA with Mexicans that took all, and what that did was it undercut the price of labor. It undercut the price of labor. And then a lot of black people were out of work. Then it brought in a fuck ton of drugs. And then after they brought in the drugs, they brought in these laws that said, okay, if you are with anyone who's a known drug dealer, all you niggas go to jail, even if you didn't commit a crime. So a lot of these laws that the South and the East Coast got after Biden's drug laws, because Professor Black Truth always breaks down how Biden's Truth in Sentencing Act worked and how they gave all these places money to build prisons. Well, people don't understand that shit was already going on in LA for 10 years. So why you thinking we don't deal with racism? Yeah, we got smiles on our faces, but in LA in the 80s, before the rest of the world country found out, before they started dealing with it in places they call you a nigga directly, you had fucking 15-year-old boys getting football numbers for being in the same car as somebody who committed a crime. So don't tell me shit about racism being tougher in one place than the other. I don't give a fuck about nobody smiling in my face. Matter of fact, I'd rather you tell me in my face I ain't shit. But out here, we had to deal with motherfuckers smiling in our face, but then turning around. LA had the first black mayor, Tom Bradley. And this motherfucker, Tom Bradley, allowed the crash unit to fucking come around, had a tank, and they would just pull niggas out and beat their ass. Nigga, do you know the LAPD was built off the Klan members from Mississippi? They gave free fucking train rides to Mississippi Klan members over 6 feet tall to build the LAPD. Like, no, we get this shit right. This shit happens right in our face. Only difference, the big difference between LA niggas and the rest of that, At a certain point, we fight back. We fight back. That's one thing about us. So whatever hint of racism we don't experience it's because we fucking fight for that shit. Y'all talk about gentrification in the country now. Nigga, do y'all know Black LA has been under heavy gentrification since the 90s? Do y'all know that? Look, let me tell y'all something. People, let's get into talking about whose racism is worse. Because I'm not going to judge, but I'm going to tell you a little bit of how LA racism works. We've been under a soft gentrification since really the late 80s in LA. The black people since from the late 80s, 88, 89, started moving out to fucking Palmdale, to Pomona, to Riverside, and all through the 90s, you saw your high school, your middle school classmates moving fucking 60 miles out, bringing Mexicans in. And in the 2000s, California, I was a part of this because I bought a house under this. One thing that they don't talk about, we talk about some fucking racism. California, in the state of California, countrywide loans, Bear Stearns loan, mortgage, these motherfuckers created these nifty, crafty loans that only targeted black neighborhoods with these secret ways of hiking your interest rate up at a moment's notice, knowing you'll lose the house. Nigga, how do I know? Nigga, because for one of the houses I used to own, I won a fucking $20,000, $30,000 settlement off getting one of those type loans. So don't tell me shit about how they do that shit right in front of our fucking face here in LA, in California. That's racism. It's very scientific out here. You gotta be smart as hell. So nah, we not about to get in none of that shit about who has worse racism. Nigga, if you live in this fucking country, you have worse racism. Cause it shouldn't exist. You shouldn't be mistreated based on the color of your skin. You said it hit Houston back in 1986? Man, by 86. I got family from my family lived in Northampton, Virginia up until 1830. In Northampton, Virginia, that's like that's on the border with, I think that's on the border with North Carolina. Yeah, but they went to Indiana, not to LA. My family went from Virginia to Indiana to Michigan to LA 100 years ago. We came to LA about 100 years ago. My family on my mom's side was very early to LA. That's right, Booker T. USDA loans? Yeah, hell, it was the USDA that admitted to playing a part in black Americans losing over 100 million acres of land over the last 100 years. You talking about why black people don't take advantage of the USDA program? Is it realistic? Go and look it up. I think it was 2014, 15. The USDA admitted to playing a part in black people losing the over 100 million acres of land we lost over the last 100 years because they were selling niggas bad seeds that they knew wouldn't grow. That's racism, like a motherfucker. Yeah. Like, nigga, that's why we ain't got time to talk about whose racism is worse. Nigga, what we need to be doing is comparing notes. Instead of talking about whose racism is worse, people from Mississippi express how their racism works. The niggas in Seattle express how racism work up there. The niggas in Florida express how racism work over there. And we compare notes and we solve this shit. That's a constructive conversation. Needy Food always talks about being constructive. We can express how our racism works where we are, and we can express what we do to beat it. Because niggas is good. We smart. We beat this shit all the time. And then go back to fighting each other. Hell yeah, we the original people of this land. Anyone who don't understand that black people are the original people of this land don't just has no clue of Earth history. Like, even the Red Indian admits coming over here across the Bering Strait, and their phenotype is the Mongoloid, which is an Asian skull. Negro skulls, however, been found on this land up to 110,000 years ago, 30,000 years ago. We are the Paleo Americans. They ain't die out. We still here. And they express themselves in the forms of Moors, in the form of Chickasaw, in the form of Potawatomi, like my family, in the form of Cherokee, because Cherokee were both dark skin and red skin. The red skin enslaved the dark skin after teaming up with the white supremacists. Because the white supremacists always use the red skin native against the dark skin native. This shit go deep. I don't even know the whole story. I can't be. And I read a whole a bunch of Clyde Winters and a bunch of Ivan Van Sertima and David. I read all they shit, and even reading all the books, I done read at least 14 books on Black America's indigenous ties to this land, and I still can't begin to explain this shit. History goes so goddamn deep. History goes so damn deep. Yeah, Black Farmers Association, and that money that Trump was gonna give them, that still wasn't shit compared to what they owe. Yeah, that's right, Breeze Omega. We really don't. That's why I don't be trying to act like this is an evolving story. Nigga, every other few days, I learned some new shit that I didn't know. See, people mistake speaking confidently from your perspective, from your point of view, as thinking you know it all. Don't never be afraid of that, folks, because the only person that's going to take you as a know-it-all when you speak confident is a non-confident person. And lions don't concern themselves with the thoughts of sheep. So the kind of people that think people who speak confidently are just know-it-alls are insecure people. Insecure people make up reasons to not fuck with you. So don't even worry about how the fuck them niggas think. They're always going to be there. But understand that your confidence rubs their insecurity the wrong way. Now, if those people are smart, they'll take that as a time and be like, why do I feel so bad for that nigga feeling good? And then they'll address that issue. But most people will never address their internal issues, so they're going to project those internal issues onto confident people. Don't mind them. Don't mind them. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about people calling you cocky. Maybe it's me. Don't worry about that. And if you are cocky, so what? Like, there's people out there I see. There's some cats I know. Them niggas is arrogant, like cocky. They pass cocky, and I don't necessarily fuck with them because I don't like their energy, like a rap for me. But it ain't. But I like the cockiness though. I fucks with cocky people. Like, it's like, man, I even though that's not the kind of person I kick it with, I respect the cockiness. I respect the arrogance. I like people being confident in what they do. Because people who are confident in what they do, they ain't got time to be bothering me or anybody else. Yeah. Be confident. Man, fuck all that. That lack of confidence don't help nobody. Lack of confidence don't help nobody. Now, if you are arrogant, arrogance is also a sign of lack of confidence. That's the other extreme, where you overcompensate. Make sure that your confidence is based in you, not in how much money you got, not in how good you can dance. Now, be confident in that, but make sure that your confidence is based in you. Because what happened if all your confidence is based in your ability to jump, and then you fucking tear 2 ACLs and break a kneecap and you can never jump again? What happened to your confidence? That shit gone. So you make sure you base your confidence in you. And then in that, be confident in whatever it is you do. But don't make your confidence into fleeting shit. Because you ever hear these niggas, the people that make me laugh the most are these. The people that make me laugh the most are these, I got more money than you niggas. My shoes is better than yours niggas. I be like, nigga, you is 40 years old judging other people by the metrics of 12-year-olds. Nigga, that shit was like, to talk about nigga shoes. That was the shit when we was 9. But now, you look like a goddamn fool. That's what I was laughing at. I told you what made me start doing more relationship and talks on this show was when I heard Kevin Samuels tell a caller called in to Kevin Samuels one time. And because Kevin Samuels, he said something, he talked about the things that men need. And one of them was like, he needs a watch. You need some suits. You need it was like all this material shit. And I was thinking like, man, you really got young cats thinking manhood is about materials. And there's nothing new. When you listen to Jay-Z's 30s and new 40, 20s, new 30, where the fuck song that was, and I used to like that album too. But when you listen to it closely, he's basically telling you, nigga, I'm more mature because I'm a better consumer. Better broad, better automobile. Like, what? So now you more mature because you can afford a better car and you don't buy rims? Like, that's all a bunch of shallow, superficial bullshit. That shit's bullshit. I look at my dad. Only time I ever saw my dad in a suit was to go to somebody's funeral. And you don't get no more manly than my dad. Took care of us in the middle of South Central LA. Got us all through college. The fuck? My dad, like all that superficial shit. I remember my dad, when I was a kid growing up, my dad had all these like I would look through the photo albums of my dad's pictures from the 70s. And he'd be in all these nice 70s clothes. And I remember when I was 10, I asked my dad, I was like, Daddy, why don't you dress like that no more? You know what my dad said? My dad said, I got to live my life in my 20s and in my teens and my 20s. He said, now I got kids. I got y'all. I want to see y'all live a life. I don't need all them clothes because I don't make a whole bunch of money, but the money I make And my dad made sure we lived in a house and not an apartment. Nigga, if I had to play, if I was always either in basketball, band. My brother was, my sister was. Nigga, we always, it was all anything anything we want. I was always in science camp. I was always in all kind of shit. My sister would be in college programs. My parents provided for all of that. And I never saw my dad in no fucking suit and light no goddamn candle and wearing some expensive watch. My dad wasn't gonna buy no expensive watch, knowing I was gonna need some football cleats. So when I saw them niggas talking about that's what a man is, and I'm gonna tell you something, that was actually when I basically lost my respect for Jay-Z when that was his song of maturity. You're calling this, and I like that album. Like, but after I would play the album a lot, and you know that when you play music over and over and over and over and over again, you start just listening to it more. And I was thinking, man, this shit is misleading than a motherfucker. This shit is super misleading. And then you hear cats like Kevin Samuels coming out and repeating that nonsense. Manhood is a look. All right. Let me tell you something. If you think manhood is a look, you're going to attract a look. But a look is cool when you're going out and you floss it in front of your friends. Like what did Neely Fuller say? What's the thing black people like the most? Showing off. Well, yeah, look, you'll get that superficial look, but you forget when you married, you gotta go to sleep next to her. After y'all fuck, y'all gotta go to sleep. And do you want to really lay your head down at night, sleep next to somebody you really don't fuck with like that? She just look good. Do these superficial niggas think about shit like that? You gotta go to sleep 365 days a year next to her. Is it about the look or is it about who she is? And I ain't saying you gotta get an ugly broad. Hell nah. You still get who you attracted to. I ain't saying go around and get Wanda Sykes. No. Leslie Jones. You ain't gotta go and marry no fucking butch face like Leslie Jones. I ain't saying that either. No. But it's plenty of chicks you niggas, all niggas is attracted to. Now, they may not be what the mainstream say is good. Hell, but what they call a mainstream woman these days look like little boys, little skinny. Well, they have fake asses now. They started buying asses and lips and shit in the last 10 years. But other than that, they be wanting you to have these little short, skinny broads. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But real niggas that I know like booms and the baps. Booties and the slaps. Real booties. I ain't talking about no bubble fake shit. Most real niggas like booties that jiggle when they walk down the street. So you can find something you like. You could definitely find something that you like and very attracted to. What's good, DC Static? Yeah, Breezy, like them sexually ambiguous women. Either that or somebody with a whole bunch of fake injected bullshit on. Nigga. So nah. You better, nigga, be a real man and take care of your shit. Say what you mean what you say, be straight up. That's how you attract a good ass woman. Nigga, have some fucking integrity. Because women watch you. They watch your every fucking move. Women see when you say one thing and do something else. The good ones see that shit and take mental note. That's how women look at you. But if you're a man of integrity, say what you mean what you say, be about your business, be about bettering yourself, man, you got 6, 7 women at a time trying to get with you. It's just something about a woman's insides that are attracted to integrity. They will how can I say this? I don't want to say this the wrong way because I've seen it happen. Not with me, of course, but I've seen it happen. Nigga, they will be married to a rich nigga and fuck with a broke nigga that has a certain thing about him if that rich nigga ain't doing her right. I've seen it. You seen some of these broads, they nigga play in the NBA, but the nigga that they fucking with on the side is some old regular John ass nigga. What's up, James Hudson? Yeah, I'll never understand homosexuality. That got to be. So I always say it, homosexuality. Yeah, there are some people who are born gay, but a lot of that should be trauma. I worked with a lot of kids that were gay, and they went through some hella traumatic experiences as children. But that's a whole nother conversation that America ain't ready for. The level of sexual abuse within the gay community, and how many people who identify as gay now were sexually abused as children by men and women. They don't want to talk about that. But in my working with family counseling over 10 years, when you work with dozens, I've worked with over 100 gay people, and almost all of them had sexually traumatic experiences at ages, and they were abused when nobody should be abused. That's a conversation we need to have. But America wants to make sure they don't have that conversation, because then people will start healing. And I ain't saying some people ain't born gay. I'm sure plenty of them are. And I ain't saying all gay people were sexually traumatized either. There are other people who turn gay through other ways. But I'm saying a fuck ton were traumatized. And we need to talk about that shit so we can fix it. Because no child should be abused. And if you turn out gay, whatever, I ain't tripping. But it shouldn't be a decision that's born out of abuse. No child should be abused by a man or a woman. Hell yeah, Anthony Dorby, yeah, get the new merch. I got that Black American flag. I got the Black American flag and the Black American mask on the website. Hotepish.com/shop. I got all that shit. I'm working on a new t-shirt. Yeah, they trying to normalize abuse. They're trying to, no. I don't like having all these kids that have been abused, but we can't talk about it because it's gonna hurt somebody's feelings. Fuck that. I'm not even talking about black families. I'm talking about America in general. Black people are a microcosm of the greater society. Whatever problems we have within our society, it exists on a larger level on the dominant society. Yeah, we commit crime. We rob liquor stores. They rob nations. When I talk about this abuse, I'm talking about nationally. Like, hell, that's why they always censor people off Facebook and shit. You say the wrong thing about LGBTQ, you censored. Because they don't want to talk about it. How do you explain that it's okay to have just women? See, Ramon Anwar, some people, yeah, I've been like, yeah, it is okay to, you don't have to explain to people. Because first of all, a lot of these cats that's talking about I can't be with one woman, they fronting. Nigga, you ain't even, first of all, 80% of the niggas talking like that don't even have options with other women. They just talking about what they would do. So that's first off, most of them niggas is capping to begin with. But you don't have to prove nothing because hell, I got one woman. The last thing I want is multiple women. Shit. All the shit I got, man, when you marry, all it's enough shit. I like coming home to the same house, sitting on my fucking couch in the same fucking seat, going out to my man cave. I don't want to be going to no 2 and 3 different women houses. If you ask me, having multiple women is fucking stress. But to the dudes that can handle it, that's cool too. But usually, the ones that can handle it, the ones that do got multiple women, ain't running around trying to compete with niggas who got one woman. My Uncle Doug, when he was alive, rest in peace, Doug had a wife and 2 girlfriends. Lived 2 doors down from my grandparents' house. I used to walk down. He used to stay at his house with his wife on the weekend. And then Monday and Tuesday, he would be with one of his girlfriends. Wednesday and Thursday, he would be with the other girlfriend. And then Friday, he'd come back home to Lily. Lily was his wife. And that's how Doug lived. And they all knew each other and they were all cool. But shit, I couldn't do no shit like that. Hell nah. But I was the kind of person, before my wife, nigga, I was single. I didn't have a whole bunch of girlfriends before my wife. I love being single because I love multiple women. But I was always honest with those multiple women. I was never their boyfriend. I always had a fuck ton of women before, and when I decided to get married, I was done with that shit. Like, done, for real. Like, I'm good. Let me see. Are we regressing as a people? Well, society's regressing as a people. In some areas, we're regressing. In other areas, we're progressing as a people. We're starting to get on code. That's a good thing. Do we have a whole bunch of fucking idiots in our society? Hell yeah. We got too many dumb fucks in our society. That's why I don't spend my time thinking about them. Nigga, everybody ain't gonna make it, and I'm fine with that. Everybody ain't gonna. Hey, look, nothing's been for everybody. Most people are followers. They'll either fall off or they'll follow what's popular. They'll follow the change. You ain't got to waste your time worried about the sorry people. You said they live streamed the funeral of that 15-year-old killed. They're trying to ingratiate themselves to Mexicans right now here in Southern California. Playing that race shit up. Police out here wild. Yeah, the most dangerous people are the ones with the PhDs. Hell yeah. Like I think we're getting on code. The right people, the people who want to get on code are getting on code. The people who have a desire to get on code are getting on code. Black people are more on code now than any other time in my life. And I remember the early 90s. And I remember when the riots happened out here. And I remember that peace treaty. I remember how good it felt. I was only 11 years old. But I remember 1992. It was like 92 was like the line of demarcation. Like LA life, it was pre-92 and post-92. I remember pre-92 growing up in the household and hearing gunshots all the fucking time. Like, I remember when I was an 8-year-old, I could identify the difference between the Uzi and the AK just by how they rattled off. And Not because I was a gun advocate, because I stayed in the neighborhood where that's all the fuck I heard. Shotguns and fucking pistols and shit. It's so much shooting where I grew up. And I remember 92, after the riots, there was like a release of tension. And that summer of 92 was like the safest I felt in the city in a long time. But then the police got shit going again. And then I remember by like 94, 95, shit been back like, really by 93. Shit, by 93, the shit going back to bullshit again. Black people, since about 2016, have really been on cold. We've had like a sustained, really since Trayvon Martin, that's when it started, 2012. It really got codified around 2016. The same year Dr. Welsing died, you really saw people getting on cold. And it's been sustained. So I think in that instance, we're doing better. Because like 92 was just like a few months. And that was just like in one city. This has been a sustained effort. That's what makes me encouraged. All right, Breeze. It ain't gonna be hard to get black people. It's not hard. It's not hard for black people to get. Black people know who the enemy is. A lot of niggas just don't live in reality. You know how you know black people who know the enemy is? The minute something happened to a black person, everybody now know the right words to say. Most of these niggas will never get it. You gotta be cool with that. What's up, Marlo Moon? How did I escape 90s gang culture? Shit, minding my own goddamn business. That's how. Shit ain't like how I was in the movies. I was minding my business. I grew up on the east side. I grew up in two areas. I was always, even though I lived with my parents, I was at my grandparents' house half the time, at least half the time. My parents worked a lot, so I was always on the east side, east of the 110 with my grandparents. Like, I was minding my own business. Like, I played basketball. I was a fat kid that could hoop. And I was in music. LA gang coach. Look, one thing about it was a clear rule in LA. Here was the rule. If you don't bang, then don't bang. Like, what I mean by that, if you didn't bang, you goddamn don't go around saying blood, don't say cuz, don't be acting hard, don't be saying you represent the set and you don't represent the set. Because one thing about LA, if you say you bang, somebody's gonna test you. Niggas is lining up to find out. So it's a true honor system. Niggas like me never faked like I banged. I was alright, and plus, I was always a nigga that could hoop, play the drums, and I had jokes. I clown niggas. And we'd have fun. They never act like I never was pressed on what hood I'm from. That never happened. And I grew up in 80s and 90s LA, Crenshaw district. Slauson and Main Street. That's where I spent 99% of my time, either off Crenshaw and Rodeo or Slauson and Main Street. That's where I lived. Rode my bike, went swimming. I used to go swimming at Dorsey Pool. I used to play basketball at Rancho Cienega Park. Like, I'm LA South Central to the bone. But I never acted like I banged. So when I would go down to Dorsey Pool, that shit was full of BPS. Shit, the Bloods was some good ass divers. Them niggas would go up and do somersaults and throw up a few gang signs before they hit the water, no splash, nigga. I grew up around all that, but I never faked and acted like I banged. So they left me the fuck alone. Now, you'd have friends and people you know, they be going around, and when they think ain't nobody listening, saying cuz, saying blood, all this shit, and then niggas get pressed up, they get socked out, they get put on. And the minute that nigga got put on, guess what happened? DwannBrown was like, I can't be your friend no more, but we can still hoop though. But I ain't kicking it with you, nigga. Hell no, I ain't trying to. Anybody I know that got into that gang life, I didn't kick it with them no more. I'm like, nah. But, and that's how I stayed in my lane. Yep, Ralph's used to be right there, Cameo Cleaners, Yum Yum Donuts. My dad used to get his gas at that gas station right there on the corner. He said for on Sundays, the lowriders will take up the whole goddamn gas station. So Pops was like, nah, I ain't about to deal with them little young knuckleheads. What up, Amara Woods? Yeah, my dad wasn't gonna deal with them knuckleheads, them lowriders. Lowriders used to take over that Shell gas station on Crenshaw and Rodeo on Sunday night. Well, Crenshaw, let's tell the truth, Crenshaw was very violent back then. It really was. Oh. Like, I don't like shows like Insecure. Insecure kind of like, Insecure is like a cornball version of LA. Like, it's everywhere on Insecure you see is where I grew up. I remember the dunes where Issa Rae lived. My mom had this coworker that she used to carpool with to work. And we used to pick her carpool up from the dunes every day on my way to school. So like all the way from like 8th, I rode my mom to school from like 6th grade to senior year because my school was, I should have gone to Dorothy and Audubon, but I wasn't fucking with them schools. So I went to Overwright in Westchester, and my mom's carpool stayed at the dunes. That's on Eucalyptus in Hyde Park, right there on the corner. And so, like, but that shit is corny. But going back to what you were saying, Crenshaw was very violent. Let me tell you the truth. In my 20s, look, I didn't kick it on Crenshaw. Because when I was a kid, I used to hear too many shootings off Crenshaw. Like, my friends that stayed on like other blocks, we'd be riding our bike when I had a friend that stayed on Victoria. Victoria is a street right behind Crenshaw. And we'd be riding our bikes, we'd be playing basketball in his backyard, and then we hear shootings on Crenshaw. And it was like I always was hearing. One of my elementary school friends, Nate, rest in peace, got killed on Crenshaw and Stocker in front of the liquor bank. Crenshaw used to be like, so when I got in my 20s, I never kicked it on Crenshaw. Because it was always too much shit going on. I knew as a child, so I was traumatized. Most of the niggas that kicked it on Crenshaw would be these niggas that lived in Pasadena, niggas that lived in Pomona, niggas that lived on the outskirts of LA, niggas that lived in the valley. They would hear about Crenshaw and all the music. Them cornball ass niggas would be the ones on Crenshaw. Then they turned down the wrong block and them 6-0s got their ass. But I avoided Crenshaw. One, because Crenshaw, I hated the lights on Crenshaw. There's too many fucking lights on Crenshaw. I always took La Brea. If I gotta go north and south, I either take La Brea or I take Van Ness. I'll never take Crenshaw. There's too many fucking lights. Yeah, Romeo from Steve Harvey Show. That house he got killed in. The story I was telling you about. My friend's house is like 4 houses down from there. I lived about where Romeo got killed. I grew up in a house about 8 blocks from there. About 8 blocks from where Romeo got killed. I was always, man, look, man. I used to see too much. I saw too many people get shot. So when Crenshaw was popping, the only time I'll kick it on Crenshaw, I'll kick it in front of Daddy Dave's on 43rd and Crenshaw. And because one of my homeboys, he worked, yeah, he's always up there. When I would, but even then, I would kick it for like literally 10 minutes. I'd be there 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and I'd be out. Nigga, nah. I never really went to the Marathon store before it was Lost and Tees because there was always too many niggas in that parking lot. And the police was always fucking with niggas. It was always be police up in that parking lot where Nipsey had his shop. It'll be niggas and cops and niggas. So I'll be like, nah, I'll go to Hungry Harrows, I'm gonna go to Hoodies. But man, I didn't go in that shopping center that much. There was always some shit going on. Yeah, Leimert Park, I love Leimert Park. You said with that chili spot that used to be on Rodeo? Yep. Man, I never really kicked it I never kicked it on Crenshaw and when Crenshaw. I kicked it on Sunset. Like I would always, because I grew up in that area. I was like, anytime I went out, I would go other places, man. I'm like, nah, I didn't kick it on Crenshaw. Nah. I would kick it in the Leimert Park though. I like Degnan and 43rd. Yeah, I would kick it up in that area. Drum Circle. Yeah, I would kick it in that little pocket. Yeah, that's why nobody had a gun when Nipsey got shot. The police were always raiding that spot. If they raided that spot and anybody had a gun, RICO laws, all in laws. If somebody had a gun, if it's Nipsey hired felons, if one of his felons that were working that day was there working and somebody else had a gun, guess what? That felon's getting booked and going back to jail. What's up, grown man Barry? Man, yeah, I saw her house on Don Felipe. Man, that house is probably worth $2 million right now. Don Felipe, nigga? That house is easily worth $2 million right now. 1.9 at the lowest. Nigga, yeah. That's why, that's another reason why I have such a positive outlook on black people because, yes, I lived off Crenshaw Rodeo in Slauson and May, but I also, late in high school, my parents moved up to View Park. So I also got that experience being around black people with money and success and seeing the difference. And that's why I got, that goes a long way in me having the confidence that I have in black people. Moving up to View, I was fortunate. Most black people in LA, if they were going to upgrade, they had to move out to Pomona or Palmdale or Riverside or San Bernardino. We got to upgrade by moving up into View Park. And that's the neighborhood that at the time was 99% black. But it's views of the whole city. You got View Park, Windsor Hills, which has views of South Central and Long Beach. Then you got Ladera Heights. They got views of the ocean and the South Bay. Then you got Baldwin Hills. And Baldwin Hills got views of Hollywood, downtown, all that shit. All black neighborhoods. I want to tell you something, Ladera View Park is so dope. My wife grew up in Ladera, and my wife had me dying laughing because she was like, when the riots, When the riots hit, I was still off Crenshaw and Rodeo, so I saw my whole neighborhood burning down. But when the riots hit, my wife was like, she told me she didn't recognize none of that shit. And my wife didn't know black people really were living in poverty until around the riots, because she never saw impoverished black people. Like she would go over her aunt's house in the hood, of course, but her dad, would keep her about the bottoms. And so all my wife saw as a child was she had one of the city councilmen lived right across the street who was black, Julian Dixon. He one of her neighbors was Gerald Busby when he was still president of Motown. Like y'all saw that movie with New Edition, Gerald Busby. He was one of her neighbors, and yeah. So my wife never saw black people in a fucked up situation. All her teachers was black in elementary school. So all them experiences exist too. But at the same time, Ladera Heights, View Park is still a very pro-black area. Like, even though it's money up in there, them black people are still down for black people. It's not like, hey, we're better than them niggas over there. It was some of that going on, of course. And Diane Watson, I remember her. Yeah, man. When I moved to View Park, and my parents still got mostly black neighbors. It's very neighborly. Everybody gets along. The police don't fuck with us. I knew when I was in my 20s, when we coming home to my parents' house, I knew once I crossed Slauson and I was in shared territory, I knew I wasn't gonna have no issues. The sheriff did not harass us. For those of us who lived in View Park, they could kind of look at the nigga and tell. And we never got fucked with by the police like that in our area. Now we went back out to where the LAPD was, nigga, all bets are off. But at least in our area, the sheriff never fucked with us. Never. He said, EJ, what the fuck else y'all talking about in the chat room? Y'all niggas listening? Y'all niggas dozing off and shit? Chat room getting quiet. Yeah. Hell yeah, New Edition gets overlooked. But that's why it's our job to keep these names alive. The white folks ain't gonna do it. White folks be talking all that shit about the Beatles, but they don't even listen to the fucking Beatles. When you watch TV, you'll see more goddamn TV commercials playing Cameo than you're gonna hear playing the fucking Beatles. They don't even like the Beatles they don't even listen to the Beatles like that, but they keep talking about them. So we gotta do the same. We gotta do the same. The difference between having and not having resources. No, it's not even really about. You mean as far as like View Park? Yeah, you're living in View Park with black people with resources. It ain't no tension. My wife be laughing at me when I tell her we went to way different elementary schools. When I tell her my elementary school experience versus hers, telling her how we used to always have fights in elementary school and shit. But her little bullshit ass Ladera Heights Elementary School, she was like, no, I remember one fight happened in the 4th grade. I was like, what? She didn't experience having fights in school and elementary. But where I was raised, it was fights all the time. And we still had it better because I was still on the west side. We still didn't have as many fights as the niggas on the east side. The difference between having and not having resources. When black people have resources, we don't steal from each other. We don't fight each other. We leave each other the fuck alone. Niggas may creep up in another nigga's woman's house or some shit like that, but that's the story of life. When black people have resources, we just mind our own fucking business. And I see that every day I go visit my parents. That's why I have such a belief in us. I lived it. I lived in the hood during the most dangerous times in LA. I lived in quote unquote black Beverly Hills. And I seen how we get down. I grew up half a mile, less than a mile from Meghan Markle, that royal bitch. Was that Prince Harry's little black little gal? I grew up. Hell, I used to have to pass if I was going to go see my grandparents. I'd have to pass her house to get down to Vernon. In that neighborhood, we didn't have no fucking issues like that. You know? Yeah, the only reason why other cultures and white people, we got to take it back to ourselves. You can't be separated unless you're already separate. You can only be separated if you're already separated. All we got to do is focus on it. It always goes back to self. You build yourself as a person. And as you make yourself stronger, you attract other strong people. And same thing with getting on code. You get on code yourself. And when you get on code, you attract other on code people. This is just science. You attract what you are. So any change you want to see in the world, start in the mirror. Only thing I try to do is help motherfuckers out with where to go to find more information out about it. But any change you want to see in the world, that shit has to start in the mirror. And as you be it, you attract it. As you live it, you get more. And that's the only place your focus need to be. It's like basketball. When I used to coach basketball, I didn't coach my team about what the other team is doing. My job was to get our offense as crisp as possible. I set up my 4 or 5 plays for when the other team is in zone, set up some more plays for when the other team is in man. And as long as we run our plays the way we're supposed to run them, it don't matter what the other team is doing. And then when same thing with defense. I was set up my defensive rotations, do my rotation drills. If we rotate on defense, now of course it'd be different if my 12-year-old team was playing against a fucking 15-year-old team. Anybody who's been in AAU basketball know that shit happens all the time. But as long as my 12-year-olds are playing against other 12-year-olds, all I have to do is run my offense and we win it. Rotate on defense, grab every rebound. Don't turn the ball over. Make your free throws. Make your layups. Make your open jump shots. If we do that, we're winning. I don't give a fuck what the other team is doing. You gotta remember that shit no different with white supremacy. We do our shit, we good. What's up, G Mars? Hell yeah, I remember that Boys Market. He said on Santa Barbara, yeah, you old school. That's MLK now. And he said Santa Barbara. Ha! That's Martin Luther King Boulevard. But when it comes to white supremacy, when it comes to racism, nigga, just run your offense. When I coach basketball, you run same thing as a man. You want to attract a good woman, be a good man. I be hearing niggas all the time trying to figure out how they can be a sleazeball but attract a good woman. You can't be a sleazeball and attract a good woman. You could be a sleazeball and attract a woman who looks good. See the difference? If you want somebody that's gonna be good to you, you work on being you first. You be good to yourself, and the things that you give yourself, you be good to that person, and you'll attract somebody that's worthy of that. Like life is a fucking mirror. Your relationships are a mirror. (1949), the Magic Johnson Theater. Nigga, hell yeah, that's where I saw Get On the Bus, nigga. That's where I saw Don't Be a Menace in South Central. We used to ride our bike down to the Baldwin Hills Theater. But I would never ride my bike there and watch a movie because I didn't want my shit getting stolen. We just ride our bike down there to the theater and ride around that shit. Shit, I had my mama drop us off if we was going to the movies. I'd be goddamn if I'm go to the movies and come out my bike stolen. Fuck that. Yeah. What's up, man? Hell, I wish I could get an interview with Roy Ayers, nigga. You know how goddamn happy I'd be to get an interview with Roy Ayers? That's Roy fucking Ayers. If I knew somebody that knew Roy Ayers, hell yeah, I would get an interview with him. He don't get enough credit. What's up, Don Smith? Roy Ayers? Shit yeah, nigga. Roy Ayers. I mean, I can listen to... Man. I've probably listened to Roy Ayers more than any other person my age. I guarantee you I probably listened to more Roy Ayers. I'm 40 now. I've listened to more Roy Ayers than any other 40-year-old on earth. I guarantee you. I probably listened to more Roy Ayers than any 50-year-old on earth. That's some sit back and chilling and relaxing music right there. James Brown, you talking about Live at the Apollo, 1962, 63? Recorded in 62, released in 63. The album that sold 3 million copies. For a fucking live album to sell 3 million copies in the 60s. Man. Man. And Roy Ayers, not even music people. Roy Ayers' music is very pro-black. Listen to him. Coffee is the color of your skin. Hear that song? Red, black, and green. If you think about it, you know what I mean. We live in Brooklyn. Roy Ayers had a very pro-black sound. Oh, you never heard of Roy Ayers? Shit. When you think about the modern, well, not modern, but the whole neo-soul movement of the late 90s, early 2000s, that was the Roy Ayers sound. Erykah Badu had Roy Ayers playing on Clever. That whole Baduism, that whole sound, that was all Roy Ayers' DNA. Searching, nigga, come on. This side of sunshine. Download my go to Mixcloud, go to mixcloud.com/DwannB. Become a part of my Incense and Ashtrays live music mixdown. I explain all this shit in those shows. And I play the music so you can hear it and find out for yourself. Yeah, get my Mixcloud. I goddamn love Roy Ayers, man. Shit. That whole sound. Yeah, it's a lot of Roy Ayers sound has been sampled. A lot of his shit. Yeah. Should have been on here 85 fucking minutes. God damn. Bob James cool. Good music. Yeah, much appreciated, Norman Blue. Yeah, much appreciated. But yeah, download my you gotta go to my Incense and Ashtrays on Mixcloud. I got a bunch of episodes up. I have an episode up right now where I talk about the soul in James Brown's music. How James Brown, at the height of his career, at the height of his success, he put all of his cards on black people. I broke that down. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. All that. Funky President. I got another episode up where I talk about the importance of strings in music and what it does to the emotions and why it's important, and drums. I break all that shit down over on Incense and Ashtrays. Oh, you 72? That's what's up. Salute to you, Elder. Much respect to you, man. When I see elders come around, I have nothing but respect for elders. Mixcloud is an app. It's called, if you just type in mixcloud.com/DwannB, I always have the link of that. I don't know if the link is in this because this is a lie. I'm on my phone. But if you go to any one of my videos and go into the description box of any one of my videos on this channel, and you'll see the Mixcloud. It's a link there that'll take you right to it. I have an episode where I broke down. My next episode, I'm going to break down swing, and from Count Basie to Erykah Badu, and how swing is a component of black music that's unique to us, and how no matter who take our music, they never can take our swing. And I'm going to explain how that works in the music on my next episode of Incense and Ashtrays. I did another one. So on that show, we do the music. And I always give examples of current artists. I don't just, it's primarily based in 70s music, 80s music. But I always bring it to and point out artists who are doing music right in 2021. Let me see. Man, I love Ice Cube, man. I like Laugh Now, Cry Later. That was another good Ice Cube album. But yeah, Lethal Injection was the last. I see you talking about the last of the first part of his career. Ice Cube had that run from from Kill at Will, America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate, The Predator, and then Lethal Injection. To me, that's the greatest series of albums in hip hop. But then when he started doing all the goddamn Friday movies, he backed off the militancy and went more so West Side Connection. Yeah, I love Ice Cube though, man. And music. Yeah, I didn't get too much into the West Side Connection stuff. I appreciated it though. But I'm the kind of person. My favorite artists, they're allowed to make changes in their music. Snoop's one of my favorites, but there's certain moves like Snoop. I got Snoop albums I love. I got Snoop albums I hate. I couldn't stand Malice in Wonderland, but I loved Ego Tripping. I love Blue Carpet Treatment. Make America Crip Again. That song was good, but the EP to me was I haven't gotten into Snoop's newest album. I got to get into his newest album. Hell yeah, Mara, man. Look, interviewing Ice Cube is a dream. If it's anybody I can interview, if I had a choice and they said, Dwann, you can interview any 3 artists. Those 3 artists would be Bootsy Collins, Ice Cube, and George Clinton. And then coming in right after that would be Snoop. And then Kendrick Lamar. If I can that would be my top 5 interviews. Kendrick, Snoop, Ice Cube, George Clinton, and Bootsy Collins. That would be my top 5 interviews of my lifetime. Kendrick, Bootsy, George Clinton, Ice Cube, Snoop. Out of people who are alive. I give Ice Cube the best interview you ever had. Because most people are scared of the real Ice Cube. I would like to interview Stevie and Quincy too. I would like to interview them too. I would like to interview if I interviewed Quincy Jones, I'd ask him mostly about Count Basie, because Count Basie gone. I'd ask Quincy Jones about 2 hours of questions on Count Basie before I even got to Quincy Jones' career. And I love Quincy Jones' career, but I'm such a Count Basie fan. Who better to hear about Basie from than Quincy Jones? I'd be like, man, so what about, Ray Charles and shit? Stevie, see, for me, here's the reason why Stevie isn't as high up on the interview list. Stevie, to me, is music God. Like, I say this. I think God was bored one day in heaven, and one day God was like, man, I want to hear how I would sound down there on earth. So God said, you know what, since I'm God, this earth shit's too easy, so I'm going to make myself blind to make this shit a little bit harder. And then he incarnated as Stevie Wonder to show the world what music is. I listen and feel Stevie so much. I think I probably know the answer to any question that I would want to ask him already. That's how much I've gotten. I'm into Stevie Wonder. I never heard of Phil Mob. I never heard of Phil Mob. I don't even know the fuck I'd ask Stevie Wonder. That Stevie Wonder, he is music. Stevie Wonder is a living embodiment of music. Shit, what else y'all talking about? Oh, I can see clear. That's like having lights on. That's why I don't be on camera. To be on camera on YouTube and shit, you gotta have lights on and shit. I don't like lights. I like the fucking sunlight. And if it ain't sunlight, I don't turn no fucking lights on. I like the dark. The dark is a beautiful place. Yeah. Man, Stevie's music god. I don't segregate R&B artists, Carlton. I don't play that. I just like artists. I may recognize a different place's sound, but nah, R&B, no. I don't, no. Well, I don't play that. We are Black Americans. We be playing all that regional shit. All them regional divides in music is what allow Caribbeans and these other people to come claim our culture. While we fighting between West Coast and East Coast, you got people from the Caribbean who have near him inventing shit that we did, claiming that we own it. That's the last thing niggas need to do. Stop all that regional battling shit. Now you can acknowledge, I love the Dayton, Ohio sound. I love the Philadelphia sound. I'm not a big fan of the New Orleans style. I'm not a fan, you can do it like that, but I don't even divide. First of all, I don't even be knowing where these people come from. When I be in the music, I get into the music. And then the first thing I look up before I go look up where that singer's from, I found out who produced it. Who's the producer? Who's the arranger? And I get into the music. I don't be knowing what city these people from until later. Cause I don't give a fuck what city they from. If the music is good, that's all I care about. You know? Yeah, Norman Connors, hell yeah. Yeah, I heard of Norman Connors. I don't know who Tim Dog is. Taylor Drake, Tim Dog sound like, nigga, that sounds like a rapper from like a 90s teen show. Like, Tim Dog sounds like one of Eddie Winslow's friends on Family Matters. Tim Dog, like, did he meet Eddie Winslow through Waldo, Faldo, Geraldo? Like, Eddie gonna go to we're going to a Tim Dog concert tonight, Mom. And then Harriet Winslow be like, who is this Tim Dog? And then Steve Urkel come busting in the back door. Did you say Tim Dog? I don't know about no damn Tim Dog. He said he made a song called F Compton. Another thing, I don't give no attention to them niggas going around making music, talking about other people's cities and shit. But that sounds like a song that somebody named Tim Dog would make. The dude's name is Tim Dog. What's up, Eduardo? I never heard of Tim Dog until Taylor Drake said their name. I didn't know that. I did not know they dissed the West Coast. I never heard the song. I'm just going off the name Tim Dog. Tim Dog sounds like somebody that Omar from Hanging with Mr. Cooper was like on the basketball. Remember the show Hanging with Mr. Cooper? He was like, Tim Dog sounds like Omar's teammate that got caught selling drugs. And then, what was his name on Hanging with Mr. Cooper? Not Omar. Omar Gooding. What was his name? No, his name was Irvin. His name was Irvin on Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Like one of Irvin's teammates on the basketball team on Hanging with Mr. Cooper. And Tim Dog was like, Tim Dog sound like the name of that kid on Lean On Me. Remember the one that beat up Kid Ray? But in the movie, he was just a drug dealer. Like, he looked like his name could have been Tim Dog. The nigga on Lean on Me. The one that broke into school to beat up Kid Ray. That nigga name was Tim Dog. Nigga, Tim Dog. Who the fuck? What the fuck is a Tim Dog? Like, is Tim Dog the dude that Cory Booker was talking about? Remember Cory Booker, when he was running for president, he was like, he had that story about Tim Dog, wasn't it? Like the fictional drug story. It was T-Bone, Tim Dog, wasn't it? Something like that. Yeah. Oh, you were in LA last weekend? It was cold as fuck in LA last weekend. I don't like this cold shit. Dr. Randy Short got a new book coming out about the whole Cory Booker thing. What the fuck y'all talking about? God damn, it's 1:15. Somebody's name is Peace Be Still. That was a song in church. Peace be still. Peace be still. This nigga went to the Rams game and the Lakers game. God damn, you living it up. You spent about $2,000 on tickets, huh? Man, my dad was at that Rams game. I called him up. He was like, I'm at the game. I was like, man, I was going to go kick it with my dad, and he at the Rams game with his homeboy. Malcolm X documentary on Netflix. Is that the one I saw? I saw one of them. Oh, I think that's the one I saw. It was like, yeah. If you talk about that Malcolm X one on Netflix, where it kind of left people thinking that he forgave white people and turned on. Yeah, it was whatever. For sure, Recluse. Oh, that Tim Dog. You talking about like from like the 90s? Oh, man, I think some new person named Tim Dog. Well, even him, I know who you talking about now. That motherfucker, sorry, I remember he did have that song, Dissing the West Coast. Nigga, LA niggas didn't give a fuck about him. Like, we got all this fun and sun, all these fine ass women right here in LA. You think we was giving a fuck about a Tim Dog? Nigga, people talk shit about LA all the time. You don't be seeing LA niggas talk back. This a fun ass city. We be having too much goddamn fun in the city to be worried about everybody talking shit about LA. Fuck them. Oh, you got the hookup on tickets. Yeah, those are rappers that answered him. That's some rap shit. I'm talking about here in LA. The rappers answered him. The people of LA were like, who the fuck is Tim Dog? Nigga, roll me another blunt. Get this Tim Dog character out my fucking face. Wasn't nobody in LA thinking about that shit, man. Do you see how hard I was going? I didn't even remember that shit until like the fourth or fifth person out here said something. I didn't even remember that nigga. This the name Tim Dog is corny. You don't want nobody LA to give a fuck about no damn Tim Dog. What? I guarantee you in 93, 94, I don't remember not one person in school. When I was in school, I don't remember nobody saying, hey man, did you hear what Tim Dog said? Who the fuck is Tim Dog? I bet Kuzma did ball again. Lakers are fucking stupid. How about your Memphis Grizzlies? You gotta realize. Man. Lakers care about championships. Give a fuck about no mid-season nothing. That's why I don't like all these sorry-ass LeBron fans as Laker fans. Did you see how many stats LeBron had? Like, nigga, they played against the fucking goddamn Mavericks without their best player. Or they played against the goddamn Blazers. Like, what the fuck you happy for? Real-life Laker fans don't give a fuck about no regular season. It's about, can we win the championship? And the real Laker fans like me, the answer is obvious. No. Lakers can't be Phoenix, can't be Golden State. Yeah. Lakers can't be any team that has more than one good scorer. Can't defend them. Lakers can't defend nobody. Are the Bulls for real? Yes, but I don't think they can win championship this year. I think the Bulls, I don't know if the Bulls bench is good enough. And I don't think the Bulls can beat Brooklyn. Niggas, they been in 4 cities in 10 days. Okay, Eduardo got hoes and area codes. This nigga's on the tour of America. That's what's up. I don't even care about I don't look at the MVP race. MVP is some bullshit ass award. The best player rarely gets the MVP. MVP is a political award. NBA used the MVP to leverage its relationships with non-black people. Lakers ain't shit. Lakers ain't shit. Lakers can't defend nobody. People like, but Westbrook and LeBron got a triple-double. Well, if you play some fucking defense, you don't need no goddamn triple-double. You got to score. Like, Lakers are old as fuck. Niggas lead the game in wheelchairs trying to outrun these little young-ass niggas in the league. You saw the way Ja Morant bounced up and touched God's chin to block that Avery Bradley layup. Lakers looks fucking silly trying to run against shit like that. This nigga, Ja Morant, I swear to God, one of his dreadlocks touched the scoreboard when he went up to block that nigga's shot. And the Lakers trying to outrun that youth with a whole bunch of has-beens. I'm a Lakers fan, but I'm also a realist. This team ain't it. See, look, Eduardo said at the crypto, ain't no fucking crypto arena, man. Staples Center. LA people ain't crypto arena. It ain't no guy. No, look, I don't give a fuck what the name say on top. That's Staples Center. LA people ain't calling no damn crypto arena. It's a Staples Center. Yeah, that's right, Will. The rest of the awards, them awards promote separatism. Give a fuck about them awards. See, just seeing Eduardo write crypto arena made my life for a second. I was about to toss my phone. Like, fuck. Then I didn't remember it really is that. Like, just seeing somebody write crypto arena almost made me toss my phone. For real, for real. Man, they ain't about to give Ja Morant no MVP. He a nigga that's playing for the Memphis Grizzlies. He gonna have to put up like, the only way they give Ja Morant MVP is the same way they gave James Harden MVP. He gonna have to put up some incredible have like 3 or 4 incredible seasons in a row. Same reason why they gave Durant the MVP and Kobe. Now, when it's the foundation of Black Americans, these niggas gotta play like the reincarnation of God. for 10 years straight to get one MVP. But let Nikola Jokic get an MVP. He can't hold his composure and he don't play fucking defense. Like, European players don't have to play defense to get MVP. Nigga, black player got to be first team all defense. Unless it's like LeBron's the black golden child. He's made the NBA a lot of money. So he's the golden goose. If it's not LeBron, they don't want to give black Americans shit in the NBA. That's why I pay attention to them fucking awards. Tim Duncan got more MVPs than Shaq. Do you guys remember when Shaq and Tim Duncan? The reason why Tim Duncan, because Tim Duncan is really a center. The reason why he played power forward was because they didn't. Greg Popovich said he didn't want him being matched up against Shaq. Yeah, Embiid's better than Jokic. And Embiid plays both sides of the floor. But I'm about to get the fuck up off here. I've been talking and running my mouth all goddamn day. I don't think I'm going to do a broadcast tomorrow because I got a whole bunch of fucking work to do. But I'm going to do a show with y'all probably like on Friday. Either Thursday morning. No, not Thursday morning. Thursday morning, I got some shit. Friday is probably when I'm going to do my next show with y'all. I'm going to do like a Friday Hotepish in the morning. And then I'm going to do an Incense and Ashtrays music show that night. Shit, but thank y'all motherfuckers, man. I'm out.